How would you evaluate your defense's efforts? Obviously, you didn't get the result as a team, but for the most part, you guys had a pretty solid showing, right?
Yeah, solid's not what we shoot for. We had too many big plays. We had 6 or 7 big plays, and we got to cut that down. You got to give them credit. They had a great play on the throwback to the quarterback, and I give them credit for that, Other than that, we just had some other big plays that kind of bled us for yards that, really cost us points, even if it was a field goal. And a game like that, you got to keep those down to a minimum.
There was one play they went after. I think it looked like a Y shoot, and that's something that you guys have struggled with in the past. But Servassier kind of stayed home, was deep, was able to break it up.
Yeah.
Is that something that you guys prepare for this week, or just something that you guys have generally?
Since Servassier's been at Mike, we've not had a problem with that. So before him, yes, that was a problem. But he's been really, really good with it.
There were 4 turnovers from the offense, but none of them resulted in points. How proud does that make you as a defensive coordinator where, points off turnovers, that normally leads to victories for any team, but for your group to hold strong and not even allow a field goal after any of those 4, what's that say?
Yeah, I think that's great. I think when we get our interceptions like the one we had Saturday, we got to go score. We had a couple opportunities, a couple more blocks. I think we score there. So, at the end of the day, we got to take that in ourselves. We have before, and we just got to continue to do that. And, I think more than anything, we got to get more turnovers.
What does your pass? Sorry, go ahead, Chris. I was going to say, what does your pass rush have to do to get home faster and more consistently right now? Because you guys have gotten people back healthy.
Yeah.
Still, I think it's taking. It looks like it's just taking longer.
Sure. Well, I mean, we're slowly getting back to 100%. I think we're getting great pressure now. The difference is they're getting that ball out quick. And, then you got a quarterback who's pretty athletic last week and really another one this week. So you got to maintain getting pressure, but you also have to be smart and not let them have a 70-yard run because the quarterback draws. So, when you play those quarterbacks that can run and pass, it's a challenge.
Randy, you mentioned that the stats are pretty eye-popping with May. What's the challenge specifically? How do you try to slow down what Carolina's offense is doing right now?
Yeah, well, I think he's a really good quarterback. I mean, he's a great thrower. He's big. He can run. Quite frankly, though, I think they're the same offense. Sam Howard's a great quarterback, too. I think he's just, matured early and is doing a great job leading the team, which is the most important thing. And I think he's doing a great job there. But, yeah, he's a great runner. I think he's leading the team in rushing, along with throwing for, 8th or 9th in the country, if I'm not mistaken. But they're a great offense. Very, very, they're not average, let's put it that way.
He's only a redshirt freshman.
Uh-huh.
Is he showing, when you're watching the videos, is he showing anything, any uncertainties out there because he's young?
Not very much. Now they've only been behind a couple games, but even in those situations, he's mature and he makes good decisions. So you don't see much that he's doing negatively right now.
When you get a young quarterback like that, do you intentionally try to put a little more pressure on him?
I think at times, but I think you also have to work within the number one, the defense that we run, and number 2, how to stop them. They'll give you certain formations and things that you just don't really care to blitz, or you do, and so you take those opportunities when they come.
You mentioned Sam Howell. You guys got into a bit of an offensive shootout with him last year. You guys pulled it out in overtime, but you look at it this year. What do you guys have to learn from what happened to you guys last year with North Carolina's system to carry forward this week?
Well, I think the thing that with a great offense like they had last year and they have this year is they're never going to quit. You jump ahead on them a little bit, at the end of the day, they're going to still keep coming and they're going to make plays. So you got to keep playing the whole game and overtime if you have to.
When you talked about pressure, you talked the teams are getting the ball out quick. Obviously, your ultimate win when you get pressure is you get a sack.
Sure.
Getting the ball out quick, that's still kind of a victory for you. That's what you guys want, right?
Yeah.
You want them to have to get rid of the ball.
For sure. And I think the other thing is there's times when you are ahead, people have to throw the ball. You get more sacks, and those are all situations that happen during the course of a game and during the course of the season.
Your defense only gave up 17 points the other day. Pat said yesterday that the guys weren't satisfied with that.
No, we like I said, we wanted to score on the interception, and we obviously the goal is to keep them out of the end zone totally. But we'll continue to work, we'll continue to grind, and we'll get better.
Randy, Eric, go ahead.
What is that about those guys that they weren't satisfied with that?
Yeah, well, I think they got great pride in themselves, and they trust in the system that we run and the guys around them, and that's, I think, the main thing.
During your time here, Eric named a Thorpe semifinalist. How have you seen him grow, and what's the value of him to your defense? Well,
that is a critical position for us. The last time we were really good before him, DeMar Hamlin, who's an excellent NFL player, that's what makes us good, and that's why we're a good defense, because we have that position that's the most difficult position in our scheme. And when they're good, we're good. And so Eric has gone from being okay to good to being very good, in my opinion.
Sebastian, I got to work a little bit outside on Saturday night. How do you do in that? And did you like?
Yeah.
Did that give you some new options?
Yeah, well, you know, when you have injuries, you have to have guys being able to play more than one position, and so we were able to move him around a little bit, move Shane inside, and, you know, we'll just continue to shuffle guys around a little bit and keep them fresh, number one, and you know, see different combinations.
You had a lot of new guys coming into the season at linebacker overall. You know, more than halfway through the season. How have you seen those guys progress? Well,
I believe Shane Simon's been a really solid player for us. He's done everything we've asked. He's played really both Mike and Money, and done a remarkable job there. And then Tyler Wiltz has done a great job. Tyler Wiltz is one of our top producing players, and so that's why you're seeing him getting more snaps.
Looked like there was a few times on Saturday night where Aiton Haba was, you know, fighting to get pressure, might have gotten held a little bit, not gotten a call, and he kind of would show his frustration a little bit, and not just him, like other players
sure.
too. Is that something that you're seeing happening more consistently with you guys and in college football, and how do you fight to overcome those situations?
Yeah, well, you know, holding is something that's really subjective, and you know, you can't piss and moan about it. It is what it is. You know, they could probably call it every play or never call it, you know. It just kind of is like a pass interference. It depends on the crew you have and what they see. And, you know, I sometimes wonder if rules aren't just guidelines.
Anything final for Coach Pitt?
Do you have certain crews that you know when you see, you're like, we're not getting any calls tonight. We're not getting any holdings tonight.
No comment.
Savasier likes playing in space, doesn't he? When he's
Sabasier's got great ability to play in space, for sure. Yeah, he can play Mike and he can play outside, no doubt. Yeah.